Hi everyone, my name is Lisa and today I'm going to be answering all of your questions. I had put a little post on my community tab and asked you guys to ask me anything, and so here we are. It's been about 2 weeks. I'm sorry it's taken so long to record this, but it's been about 2 weeks and I have quite a few questions to go through, so I am super excited to jump into it. I do have my little Chromebook over here on my left, and so if you see me looking down, that's why. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. The first question is from Renisha, and she asks what prompted me to start a YouTube channel. In January of 2019, I really started to look at my debt. I started following channels like Michelle, Shea Budgets, favorite daughter Emily, A Man with the Plans, let's see who else, Debt Kicking Mom, The Budget Mom, Debt Free Dana. So there were a ton of channels, and I just got motivated to pay off my debt. So I decided to start a YouTube channel because as a single person, I don't have anybody here to keep me accountable. I have a single income and I don't have anybody to tell me no except for me. So YouTube was a way for me to document my journey, hopefully to inspire others, but also to keep me accountable. So if I was, spending money, I had to account for it in a budget, and it helped to curb my spending because I was reporting to all of you what my income was, how much I was spending in each category, and it was just a way to keep my spending in check. All right, so the next question is from Pamela, and Pamela asks how I went from a six-figure salary to my current salary. So in February of 2015, I lost my six-figure-a-year job, and I went quite a few months without a job. So it wasn't until July of 2015 that I found the job that I was at now, and I took a 50% pay cut. So the next question is from Rachel, and Rachel asks, from my personal experience, what would I do differently when I lost my job to better prevent the debt that I ended up accumulating? So the first thing is I would have had an emergency fund. When I lost my job, I had zero. And so I kind of panicked and took out credit cards and personal loans to cover my expenses over those next several months. Because had I had the emergency fund in place, I would not have needed to take out credit cards or the extended lines of credit. All right, so Cheyenne asks, what lessons have you learned from this pandemic regarding my finances? And the answer is that I can do with a lot less. I have really scaled back even more since the pandemic has been here. So I'm not going out as much, I'm not spending as much money, I'm not eating out, and I am staying home and just not spending any extra money. So the answer is I can do with a heck of a lot less. Angel would like to know what my car looks like, so I will go ahead and insert a quick clip of my 2014 Kia Soul that I bought earlier this year. All right, so the next question is from Mary, and Mary asks, how long did it take you to fully get on track with your saving and debt payoffs and to be able to stick to it? So the answer is about 3 to 6 months. It took me a while to perfect my budget. Mostly it was my variable categories, food budget, fur babies, gas, all of those categories that can fluctuate from week to week and certainly from paycheck to paycheck. Those are the categories that took me the longest to perfect, and it was about 3 to 6 months. All right, so the next question is from Brian, and he asks if I have a retirement plan at work. So currently I am not contributing to retirement because I am working the Dave Ramsey baby steps-ish, and he suggests stopping your retirement contributions while you are paying your debt off. So at the current time, I'm not contributing to retirement. My company does offer a retirement plan, but there's no match. So I'm not losing out on any money by not participating. So the next question is from Blair, and Blair asks, what direction to go in when trying to tackle credit card debt? So I am following the Dave Ramsey baby steps. So I did my baby step number 1 first, which was save $1,000. Baby step number 2 is to pay off your debt, smallest to largest balance. And I listed all of my debt, smallest to largest. I paid the minimums on everything and then threw every extra penny on the smallest debt. But before you do those first 2 baby steps, you've got to be current on all your bills. So I would also suggest the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and then following others on YouTube that are, maybe have a similar income and maybe similar expenses to you, so that you can see how others budget. All right, so the next question is from the budget guy, and he asks, what is my dream career if it isn't already what I'm doing? I would definitely want to be an archaeologist. All right, so the next question is from Cassandra, and Cassandra asks, do I use credit cards and debit cards? And the answer is, I use debit cards. I have a bank at Capital One, and then I have a local bank here just down the street from my house, and I have debit cards for each account. The next question is from Richard, and Richard asks, once you're debt-free, are you planning to continue your budget and sinking funds? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is not my first time getting out of debt. I have been in debt before and got out of debt, and the one thing that I did is once I became debt-free the last time, I really loosened the reins and rewarded myself, and in the process I stopped doing my budgeting, I stopped sinking funds, and I found myself right back into debt again. So absolutely, I will continue to do videos, and I'll be budgeting and doing sinking funds just like I am now, because that's what I know works for me, and so yeah, gonna do the same thing. All right, so the next question is from Allison, and Allison asks, what are your goals for when you are debt-free? So again, I'm following the Dave Ramsey baby steps. I have baby step number 1, I have $1,000. Baby step number 2 is to pay off all of your debt, which I will be out of debt by, I think, the middle of January. And then the third baby step is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses and then that be your fully funded emergency fund. I think I'm going to go more on the 6-month side rather than 3, since I'm a single income. So that is my very first priority once I'm out of debt. Christy, and Christy asks, I'm interested how you find the discipline to stay on budget. I have the tools but lack the willpower at times. By the way, my debt came from job loss and lower income as well. Yeah, so discipline and staying on budget is tough, but you have to have a why that keeps you motivated. And my why is definitely my family, my kids, and my parents. So I, more than anything, want to move back to Arkansas to be closer to them. And I can't do that if I'm like buried in debt. The cost of living is lower in Arkansas, but also the salaries are lower. And so moving back to Arkansas likely means taking a lower paying job, and debt would prevent me from being able to afford to live. And so my motivation is to get out of debt and move back home. All right, so the next question is from Cheyenne, and Cheyenne asks what camera I use to record my YouTube videos. And the answer is, I have an old iPhone 6S. I use iMovie to edit, and that's it. I have a little, where is it? Okay, so I have a tripod that my phone is on right now, but usually I have this little guy, and it just attaches to like the table, and I clip my phone in here, and this is how I can get the downward angles when filming. So I found this on Amazon. It was really cheap. All right, so the next question is from Amanda, and Amanda asks, is it more expensive to be vegan in my area is it more expensive to be vegan where fresh produce is often more expensive than to buy meat? I don't know, because I don't find that I'm spending any more on a vegan diet than when I was eating meat. The next question is for C. Goins Major 2. And they ask, at one time you were basically a vegetarian diet, then she saw meats in my grocery hauls, and now vegan, and wants to know the reason. So The reason for being vegan, I had come down with pneumonia. I was actually a smoker for a really long time. And in, when was it? I think it was 2018, I came down with pneumonia and I felt like I was dying. I was home for a week, sick, and I watched some documentaries on Netflix about my food and where it came from and, how the animals are treated. And so I quit smoking and I cut out animal products that same week. Now, I have pretty much stuck to a mostly vegetarian diet, but in August of last year, I did introduce meats again, but I found that I feel better when I eat a vegetarian or vegan diet, and so I have switched back. All right, so the next question is from Dorothy, and Dorothy asks, how do you stay motivated to reach your financial goals? Sometimes it's a struggle for her, and it's my why. I want so badly to be closer to my kids, and that is what keeps me super motivated to continue to pay off this debt. And so it's my why. I think if your why is big enough, you'll be motivated. All right, so the next question is from Deidre, and she asks, what made you decide to move? So I don't know if that is moving from Arkansas to Virginia. I'm thinking it is. So basically, I moved for a job. Had I not lost my job, I would still be in Arkansas today. Right, so the next question is from Christina, and she asks, I know you're saving to move locally, but wondered why not wait until you can move closer to family, where it seems that's where you would prefer to be. So the questions are the answer to that question is I am not looking to move locally, actually. My moving fund is to eventually be able to move back to Arkansas and be closer to my kids. So I will stay in this basement apartment as long as they will have me or until I am ready to move back. So the next question is from Jane's Budget, and she asks, what state are you moving to and why? And it is the state of Arkansas and for my kids and my family. All right, so the next question is from Sonia, and she asks what kind of work I do. Is it, do I do it from home? Is it IT, customer service? Also, Michelle asks what kind of work I do. So the answer to that question is I do more like a technical support, and I guess it's not really IT work, but I do work from home, and I basically work out of a ticketing system. I take customer issues, I research them, and implement fixes. And so I'm not a programmer of any kind, but it's mainly database and software support. All right, so the next question is from Brittany. And Brittany asks, do I ever get lonely at my age? And the answer is yes. It is sometimes really lonely to be in this basement apartment by myself, but I do have my puppy and my kitty to keep me company. I also have friends here in Virginia. I actually grew up in Virginia. I went to elementary, middle, and high school here. I graduated from high school, so I have some friends that I went to school with that are still my friends today, and we do hang out on occasion. So, yes, it is lonely. My age, I don't know, has anything to do with it. It's mainly just, being on this journey. I am cutting all my expenses, which has really affected my social life. So, all right, so this is the last question, and it's from Linda. And Linda asks, how old are my children? What do they do for a living, and where do they live? So I have twins. My twins are 23 years old. They live in Arkansas. My son is a diesel mechanic. And my daughter graduated with a double major in chemistry and biology and is currently applying for PA school. So those are all of the questions. Again, thank you guys so much for responding. I can't believe it's been this long and I am just now doing this video. I think it's weird. I am really uncomfortable in front of the camera. I would much rather you guys just see my hands, which I didn't paint my nails today. But, I'm glad that we did this. Thank you guys for asking the questions. It has been quite the journey, and I am super excited. I am so close to being debt free. I have been working on my October budget today, and I will have I will have some updates for you, but it is looking like I'm going to be debt free by the middle of January. Actually, first paycheck in January. Kind of did some mock budgets to try to see or forecast what that was going to look like, and hopefully it will be the first paycheck in January. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you're at. Bye.